Must be something in the water or something in the air. I can feel it getting stronger. The signs are all there. It's written in the stars. It's printed in the sand. It's a whisper getting louder, a whisper in the wind. It's time to be free. It's time to be free. From the east to the west, from the south to the north, there's a beautiful awakening. It's time to be free. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Friday the 13th of September. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. That is the mantra of the Inspired live stream. Thank you for tuning in on X, Rumble, and YouTube. Of course, in a live chat. Welcome, everybody. I see Raymond is here. Yvette is here. I've already said Raymond. Ronnie is here, our fantastic moderator. Who's doing a really, really fantastic job. Thank you, Ronnie. Rob, Lauren, welcome everybody. Dagda, Tom, I saw Jay Froch, aka Jim. Good to see you, brother. And everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. You know, this political season is pretty strange. And you see and you hear some things you wouldn't expect. And then there are things that just catch you completely off guard. Check this out. You've probably seen this, but as people said, they didn't have that one on the bingo card. You know, President Biden putting on the Trump hat. Coincidentally, you know, it's coincidentally at the same fire station in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where 3 years ago he was posing with kids with Trump shirts and whatnot, with a package in the back on a shelf that had a huge Q on it. Just funny, coincidental stuff. This, you know, we hear the speeches of the politicians and those who claim not to be politicians. And I think we hear so many lies and convolutions that often we are too cynical to acknowledge how simple things could truly be. So I want to share a speech with you. And I want to ask you right away, who gave this speech? What politician gave this speech? So I'm going to read this to you, and then we can talk a little bit more about it. Which politician gave this speech? My fellow Americans, today marks the beginning of true and great change for this beautiful nation of ours. For too long, Americans and the people of the world have been manipulated, controlled, deceived, and lied to. Our air is toxic, our water is polluted, our food is poisoned, and our people are sick. Neither one person nor one administration can fix this on their own. As a people and as a nation, we have to work together and initiate the greatest period of transformation in our history. Imagine a future, perhaps less than 10 years from now, where children are healthy, happy, and safe. A future where cancer is becoming a thing of the past. A future where people grow old without debilitating diseases and years of care away from their families. Imagine a future where our food is clean, nutritious, and natural. A future where pesticides, artificial fertilizers, and genetically altered seeds do not exist. Imagine a future where the water in our oceans, lakes, and rivers is clean, and vibrant, and the air we breathe is fresh and pure. Imagine a future where physical, mental, and spiritual well being are our most important priorities. There's nothing we cannot accomplish if we work together. So called advanced technologies and electromagnetic radiation are bringing more harm than good to the people. Dangerous substances are being dispersed from planes overhead and are poisoning our soil, water, air, and all living beings. The minds of our children are being indoctrinated with false history and anti-human ideology. They're being robbed of their precious innocence and natural creativity and literally put under mind control. While elected politicians can ban and outlaw deadly and dangerous substances, chemicals, and practices, they cannot mandate a change in our thinking and in our way of life. We have to understand that a nation is only as healthy, as strong, and as vibrant as its people. Together, we can reverse virtually all negative health trends, including mental illnesses and addiction. We will overhaul an out of control medical system and promote natural, holistic, and traditional medicines that have served people for thousands and thousands of years. We will focus on healing rather than the current model of lifelong treatment. No longer will we sacrifice our health and our beautiful nature to an economy that is controlled by anti human forces. Together, we can build communities, systems, and a nation that simply serves us rather than the other way around. We don't want a country with an out of touch and overblown government anymore. We want thousands of strong, healthy, and vibrant communities with good and honest local leadership. We shall measure all our decisions not by how fast we can profit from them, but by how they will affect the children of the future. No stone shall remain unturned, no policy unquestioned. We can only be free and prosperous when we cherish and uphold the truth in all things. To those who want to stand in the way of such changes that benefit all people, the people will see you for what you are. To those dark forces who have operated from the shadows and manipulated and controlled humanity and strangled the true human potential, your reign has come to an end. From this moment forward, we shall do everything in our power to create a beautiful, honest, natural, healthy, creative, and prosperous future for our people and all people. We shall be guided by truth, knowledge, wisdom, peace, and united intentions. Our work begins today, right now. It is time to become the best possible version of ourselves as individuals, as a people, and as a nation. We might not even be able to imagine just how great we can become. My fellow Americans and all people of the world, the best is yet to come. You remember that speech? Do you remember the politician who gave it? Because I don't. I've never heard that speech. But I wonder why. Because I know one thing for a fact. The people that are running for office today and the people that have been running, they know these things. I know that for a fact. These and many other of the plights that we all face have been brought up in numerous meetings to those candidates. And they have been engaged in those conversations, shown all the evidence. So why in the world is no one stepping forward and having an honest conversation with the people? Whose interest do they serve? And how cynical have we become that we make all kinds of excuses and that we always find some justification as to why the time is not here yet, as to why this cannot happen yet, as to why something else is more important. We talk about technology. In a few days, we're going to talk very, very much publicly about crypto. That's going to become a focal point. Everything is AI, everything is digital, yet people are sick and dying. They're poisoned, polluted. controlled. And the solutions, as many have said before us, are still embarrassingly simple. Can you imagine if you would hear that kind of speech? And I'm not saying that, this is the speech, but if you would hear such words, such ideas, such common sense things, and can you imagine what the people might feel if they hear something like that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times? Can you imagine how the human spirit would be ignited? And what could happen in a very short period of time if we were to focus on things like this as a nation? Because apparently it is possible to convince people to focus on all kinds of things that are detrimental to them, to support all kinds of things that make them sick and kill them. So why in the world would it not be possible to do the opposite? Why would it not be possible to inspire and uplift at least a significant section of the population to initiate such changes? We have all become truly too cynical, including myself. And so every now and then we have to remind ourselves that the reason that we're being lied to is not so much because we need to believe a specific narrative. That's not the reason. The reason why we're being lied to and why this field of information is being fed with falsehoods and lies is so we don't recognize the truth anymore, is that we're so soaked with lies that when we hear the truth, we reject it, we're cynical about it, and we don't recognize it any longer. That is the true plight that we have. I thought about this, and our discussions over the last days and weeks with Christine have brought this forward. This field, this entire field of information, it's 99% falsehoods. But the truth is incredibly simple. Imagine in a nation like America where we have everything we could possibly need: land, water, space, whatever you need, enough people. Imagine how many thousands of communities could be self sustainable, could be healthy, vibrant children, creative, innovative. People could have beautiful lives, sing songs, write poems, create paintings, have celebrations, eat clean and healthy foods. Imagine walking up to a stream or a lake and being able to drink out of it. Imagine all those things, because not too long ago, those were possibilities. We could bring that back. So, for as long as people are supporting and believing those who sell them a false narrative, we will never get the truth out there. And I'm not talking about any specific political camp, because for the most part, they're all the same. They're all beholden to the same powers, beholden to the same donors, because somewhere in the back, big corporations, banks, big pharma, big tech, big ag, big everything is pumping hundreds of millions and billions of dollars into campaigns through PACs and super PACs. And why do you think they do that? So we don't ban pesticides. So we don't look at how it could be done naturally. So we buy and consume the artificial foods that make us sick, so we can go to the doctor and buy and consume the artificial medicines that keep us sick. So we can then go through all kinds of surgeries and treatments till the end of our lives. And the system was created so well that when people die, they often leave their money to the research institutions that perpetuate the problem. This is not hard to realize. It's not hard to realize what's going on here. This wouldn't even be hard to understand for a significant portion of the population. But we get sidetracked by speeches and topics that don't really matter, that have zero significance if the people are sick. Yeah, we can build the greatest artificial economy in the world on the backs of sick and dying people, suffocating in our own poisons. So, what's that going to be worth? And just whom are these economies serving? Just whom are we borrowing our own currency from? Whom are we paying interest to? These are not hard questions to answer. Yet, almost no politician dares to even ask those questions. So, those who have so vehemently fought me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate open and free and honest expression on my very open opposition to fairy tales and storylines. I ask you, when have you ever heard these words that I just read to you, or similar words, even close to, by one of these candidates? When have you ever heard them say it? When have you ever heard them stand up for the truth like that? Because I haven't. I'm going to leave it at that, my friends, for today. Short and sweet. This or speeches like these could truly change the minds and the hearts of the people. And if they're followed by action, not impositions, not mandates, not communism or socialism, but a national vision, a national idea that is implemented by everyone, where everyone plays a part in it. That's how it ought to be, how it's ought to be. And we could have something like that. But we must stop looking in the same old places, because they just come up with the same old answers. And the truth is vastly different. Much love to you, my friends. Many blessings. I also want to invite you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central, the newest episode of the Naked Truth Show with Frank Jacob, as we're going to go into revisionist history and its implications. We're going to talk about the explosive third part of his new webinar and beyond. So all of that's happening tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central here on Inspired, the new episode of the Naked Truth Show, co-hosted by Frank Jacob and myself. All right, my friends, much love, many blessings. We'll be back with you again very, very soon. Are you looking for like-minded and like-hearted people to connect with? Then the Inspired Community on Locals is the right place for you. You can post, comment, share, and connect with others, and our shows there are completely uncensored and unfiltered. It's stuff we can't talk about here. It's such a great community, and there are zero trolls. We keep the subscription fees super low, so 19 cents per day. Keep the trolls away. Join us today at inspired.locals.com. We can't wait to see you there.